Okay, Uncle Paul, so this is the opening screen when I open my Acronis True Image up. I have the 2014 version. I think yours should be similar. The first project is to make a new, fresh, complete, non-incremental backup. Make sure the tab is clicked for backup and recovery here, and we want to pick disk and partition backup here in the upper left. We'll click on that. A new window opens up. Alright, so the first thing you have to decide is what drives you want to back up. Clearly, if I was going to make an image backup, I would back up C. I would probably also back up some of these small system partitions. Clearly, I would not want to back up, in my case, drive D, which is my data drive. That's where the backup's going to reside. In your case, if you have a external drive plugged in, it'll appear also you wouldn't want to back that drive up because that's where you're going to house your backup. All right, then on the upper right here, there's a very important part of this window. It asks you the location of your backup. You would browse to your plugged in external drive. It's important you go through that. So this new window opens up. It's an Explorer type window. You would browse to your external drive and any particular folder or location in that drive you wanted to make your backup. Now you get to give that file a name. That's down here in the lower corner. We would type in whatever name we wanted. In the right side, that you have the option of appending that file name with important information such as the date or the time or the username. I always take advantage of this and append my file names with the date. Then I know easily what the date of the backup is. And then after location is complete, you'd click OK, and then that information would appear here. Then on the lower right-hand part of this window, very important, the first option is the schedule. Let's click on that schedule. You get to decide if you want to make a schedule. If you don't, you would click Do Not Schedule. If you want to schedule, you could make it weekly, monthly, the day of the week, and the time. At the bottom of this window is Advanced Settings. Very important. You click the downward caret. You can make an option to run the backup only when the computer is idle. You can prevent the computer from going to sleep or hibernate in the middle of a backup. And the most important part of this window that I got burnt on is this very lower option here, which is to what happens if you miss a backup. So if the backup is scheduled to run on a Sunday and you're out of town that Sunday and you miss that backup because the computer is off, then what will happen is when you turn the computer on, it'll immediately start making that backup with a delay you can put in. That's exactly what happened to me. I was out of town during a regularly scheduled backup. I returned. The machine in the background made a backup. I didn't realize it. I turned the computer off prematurely. It interrupted the backup and created all kind of havoc. So if you don't want the backup to run when the machine is turned on, if you miss a backup, make sure you unclick that box. And you can have the option, of course, as I said, to not schedule. And then click OK when you're done with that. There's another set of options here. If you look to you can add the name of the partition of the backup here. This is the overall name of the backup style, which is different than the name of the individual files that we set under this browse window. In any event, to the right of the option to give the backup style a name is another box you can click. There are multiple options here. The first one is one we already took care of. The first one gives you the option that you are interested in, which is to make the backup full instead of incremental. So the first line here is, I'm going to change that to custom. And then on the second one, instead of it being incremental, I would make it a full backup. And then the last option also is very important. Turn on automatic cleanup. Let's click that. So basically what this does is it allows you to delete older versions of the backup automatically. You can delete versions older than a given number of days. You can limit the number of backups. In this particular option, you can limit the size of the backup, and you can also turn off automatic cleanup. In addition, there are other tabs here. I don't really do much on this advanced tab, but you can go through them. Performance is important. It gives you the option to adjust the compression level. The more you compress it, the longer the backup takes, but the smaller the file sizes. You can get emailed about a backup, and you can make exclusions to the backup. I didn't change any options on this at all. And then when you're done, click OK. And then finally, in the lower portion of this window is the option to back up now. If you back up now, it'll make a record of all these settings. If you want to right click on it, you can do the backup in a certain period of time, or you can just click later and it'll keep a record of that particular kind of backup. So then, but you have to pick one of these options. And then pick those options, and then the backup will appear on your list of backup styles here. And I have my backup that occurs once a week. You always have the option anytime to click backup now, and that'll make a backup anytime you wish. And you can also have the option to recover through this main window, and when you hit recover, a new window comes up and you get to pick from your list of backups as to which one you want to back up, as well as what drives you want to recover. All right. In addition, on this window, there's this little area here. If we right click on that, the first option is to explore all backups. Another window opens up, and then these are all the backups I have done. You can right click on any one of these, and then there's the option here to delete that version, and that allows you to delete the backups in program, which is better because it keeps a record of that stuff, and if you want to recover, it won't give the option to recover a backup you've deleted. Finally, if we use Windows Explorer, we can go to the location of backups we've made, and here are my image backups. And if you use Windows Explorer, you can bury deep into the Windows Explorer option of all these files. Here's under my C drive, there's one particular file called, I'm going to try to recover, called Madden Scripts. I'll right click on that file and hit copy. This is important. If you were to close this window, it would not allow you to copy that file. But if we just minimize these windows, we can then click any place we want and hit paste. And sure enough, here's that file, Madden Scripts, that allowed you to recover an individual file from one of your backups. And I'm just going to delete that now. And that's the story, Uncle Paul. Give me a call or write me if you have any questions.